Oh man, really proud of our guys. Good win. Anytime you win league games, they're good. They're important. Kennesaw, obviously, a really good team. Came in here averaging a lot of points. I thought we were just active on the defensive end, trying to show them different things on their offensive end. First half, we were able to force 11 turnovers. The second half, I think we forced 3, looks like 2. We played some different defenses trying to disrupt their rhythm. And then obviously there were some kind of the starters on both sides and some foul trouble there in the first half. We had Torrey and Chris with 2. They had Simeon Cottle with 3. So some different guys had to step up and make plays. I thought Kamari Lance had a terrific night, just not with the points, but being able to get to the free throw line, having 9 rebounds were huge for us. And then Jobin with a terrific individual defensive play, last play of the game. When you're kind of backpedaling and a preseason player of the year has got the ball with a head of steam at you, usually a lot of good things are going to happen for them, either 2 free throws or a layup. And I just thought he made a terrific individual play. So, great win. Questions?
After the Belmont loss, you all knew that you had to respond. How do you think it's so important to make sure that you're setting the tone, especially after this first conference win?
I think any time you're – this time of year you want to be getting better, but also, you don't want to let one become 2 when you're playing the kind of teams that we're playing. They're going to play well as well. We didn't play very good against Belmont. We shot it poorly, but even if we had shot it better, we just didn't defend the way we needed to, particularly in the second half. I thought lack of makes in the second half versus Belmont, lack of made shots by us kind of affected our defensive efforts. Tonight, it was just turned into a rock fight. We got stuck on 51 for a while, and they go on like an 8-0 run, but it didn't happen on 2 threes and a layup. It was a run, but over a stretch. And I thought we just continued to guard, get rebounds. But, our guys had a little different focus, too, over the last couple of days, if I'm being honest with you, knowing that we were playing a league opponent.
The last couple of seconds of the huddle, what was kind of the message for you all to make sure that you shut them down so that it was just a really close game to take it all, though?
You mean the last play of the game?
Last play of the game, then also the huddle, like with 23 seconds left, too. What was kind of the message to them to make sure that they
really
deliver?
At that point, don't give up catch and shoot threes. Don't foul. But at that point in the game, you're usually just talking about on the offensive end, you can't have turnovers. On the defensive end, you can't give up offensive rebounds. Then when at the .4 was on the clock there for a while, we were talking about it's going to end up being something right at the rim, be good on the ball, be willing to tap any kind of lob towards the rim out of there. Then it goes to .8, and your guys are kind of out there, and it kind of changes what they can do. And, again, it's important there that you don't end up holding somebody. Somebody's trying to get open for an easy shot. Now you got to get a cheap foul, and they go to the free throw line. You're trying to whack the ball out of the air. You end up hitting somebody. So some not so good things can happen for you right there. And, again, just came up with another stop.
Why'd you shake up the defense in that second half? Because I think we both admit that first half was just really weird for Kennesaw. So did you have a preconceived, we're going to switch it up, or that's just kind of what the game gave you?
It gave us that. I think it's a great question. Our defensive effort was really good there in the first half, to your point. We hadn't shown some of those things. We knew they would start getting a little bit in a rhythm, see what our ball screen coverages were there in the first half. They're going to be in front of their bench offensively in the second half. So now they can dictate actions a little bit easier for their team. And so we just tried to keep them out of rhythm. They came in here averaging 95 points a game. So to hold them to 67, I thought our guys did a good job. We might have had a couple possessions where we had somebody not know the change that we made defensively, but we didn't get caught with 2 or 3 guys playing zone and 2 or 3 guys playing man. And to your point, we switched it up quite a bit there in the second half. You just can't let somebody like Simeon Cottle particularly get a rhythm. When he sees the same thing over and over and over, A guy like that's usually going to figure you out.
That leads me to my next question about the tempo. I mean, they're one of the fastest teams in the country. How do you not fall into that trap on the defensive end?
Great question, great point. We talked about it in the pregame. Is they love to play fast, and so do we. But at times, if we're taking early shot clock shots, they need to be the shots that we want to take, not the shots they want us to take. Because coming into tonight, 71% of their field goal attempts were in the first 12 seconds of the shot clock. And so it's up and down. That's the way they want to play. So if you all of a sudden are doing that too, then it's going to end up being a track meet, which I'm sure that's the way they practice. That's the way they're used to playing. So we don't want to take the air out of the ball because that's not how we play. But we also didn't want to get into this with them.
Joe, what's going through your mind? Cottle's he's coming down that lane right at you. What are you thinking in that moment?
I didn't want to foul him because even though we're in the bonus, he a good free throw shooter. We're up 1. So I tried to make just a physical play, put my hands up. I didn't want to foul, and I didn't want to give him an easy layup. So just make the ref make a call or no call, and I just tried to be physical as I could, and the ball went out of bounds.
That's just one example, but you didn't score in the second half, but obviously you affected the game in many ways. Talk about your contribution as a guard in a game like this where you're maybe not getting to the rim, getting the looks you want, but you're still affecting the game.
Yeah, I feel like last game against Belmont, I could have been way better defensively, so I emphasized that a lot coming into this game. Even though I'm not scoring, my coaches want me out there, my teammates want me out there, so if I can play defense, do what I rebound, get assists, or do whatever I got to do, that's what I'm going to do. It's scoring is scoring, but that's not what basketball is.
Coach, can you talk about the emphasis you guys placed on guarding Cottle tonight? I mean, coming in, like you mentioned, preseason player of the year, and he was leading the conference in scoring up to this point.
Coming in the game, is averaging over 20. He'd taken 75 threes in 10 games, pretty easy math. 63 free throws in 10 games, pretty easy math. He just does it in a bunch of different ways. And so, we talked to our team, and it was up on the board before the game. He's the head of the snake. He's been there for a while. A confident player, a good player. Got to show him traffic. Got to show him different guys. He's guarding him some. Trey Green's guarding him some. He sees the 2-3 zone some. Just try to show him different stuff. And man, it's hard to shut the water off when a guy like that gets going. And you don't want to see him see 2 or 3 go in a row because just like with this guy, all of a sudden a bucket gets big.
And speaking of Kamari, how important is it for this team, Coach, for him to really get going and do what he did tonight, night in and night out?
Well, I think doing 24-9 night in and night out is going to be a tall task, but he did things tonight that he's capable of doing that allow for him to have a really good overall night. And what I mean by that is he can really shoot it, but tonight he got to the free throw line 8 times. Got 9 rebounds, 2 steals, just kind of being physical and sticking his nose in there. We needed all of it, but the way our team is built, and he knows this and he knows this, it's not going to be his night every night or his night every night. The way our team is built, it's going to be Torrey's night some night and Chris Luce some night. And the great thing is our team is so unselfish, they love that. They have as much joy in somebody else's success as they do their own. That's pretty rare.
And Kamari, I think a couple career highs sprinkled in there for you tonight. Can you just talk about what clicked for you on the court?
I just really just want to, thank the players and the coaches for just believing in me at all times, especially coming in after the last game. I had a rough one. I feel like I was rough all around on defense, offense, rebounding. And, just the coaches and players just always have confidence in me, always pushing me, always telling me what I can be, and just being aggressive. And they always support me. And I just, like I said, it showed tonight. It's more than just, what's on the floor. It's really what's off, talking to you, watching the film, learning from your mistakes. And that's just what came out today.
What are you seeing in those moments? Because Coach talked about it. You just kind of get going. In those games where you drop 20, what are you seeing? How are you feeling in those kind of games?
Like Coach kind of said, it honestly came from the other things I did, like rebounding and like blocks and steals, just getting my nose in a lot of stuff helped me, get rhythm in other places other than just, shooting the ball. I feel like like I said, it's going to be other people's nights sometimes. You know, it might not be the best night for me, but if I'm still rebounding and steals and blocks and passing, then that's all that matters. Because, like I said, they tell me that all the time. So that's what it is for sure.
You have a lot of centers that hit a lot of big threes in big moments. How much trouble would Chris Loof have been in had he missed that last three?
You know, it's a shot that he practices. And if it's one where he's never in the gym and you're shocked by it, then, yeah, you'd be a little upset. But at the same time, it's one that he has confidence in it because of the work that he puts in on that shot. He's one of the guys that stays after practice all the time shooting threes. And, you know, he's pretty good at it. You know, it helps our team. Fives usually don't want to come out there and guard on the three-point line. It was a huge one. And I loved how he had the confidence to do it about a minute and a half, minute later after an air ball, you know, because that one I didn't think that was a bad shot, you know, and then a little bit later he bangs one in, you know. I think you're referring to Esam's shot last year against Chattanooga in the NIT, banged in a big three, and then obviously that one for Chris was a big one, and I'm happy for him. I thought he was really good at the rim. You know, obviously he got 3 blocks, but there were so many other plays that he made tonight, just walling up, making life difficult at the rim.
It kind of exemplifies the character this team has developed early on. I mean, it's an air ball. You're thinking this guy's going to lose that confidence, but he still had the confidence to shoot that shot. What does that mean for not just Chris, but this team where you see a 14-point kind of wither away and he's still stuck to it at the end and a CUSA game in the middle of December nonetheless?
Yeah, I think kind of like what Kamari said and what we were talking about earlier. They're a fun group, but they believe in each other. They like practicing together, playing together. We talk to them all the time about do the things that we practice. You know, don't be out there and just make stuff up. And I don't think anybody on our team was surprised with him shooting that ball. He's that open, late game. And he's got the confidence to do it. You know, the guys have had confidence in him when he's played okay or less than what he expects out of himself. And I think Chris is the same way. He knows that his teammates believe in him, and that's a great quality to have in any team, and particularly this time of year as you're heading into league play. That's a sign of good things hopefully to come. Great. Thank you. Appreciate it.